Thanks. I am back in the interview tent, joined by De La Soul. Thank you, gentlemen.
Hello.
I know you're going to be part of today's concert. Did you know anything about the Tibetan situation before they approached you for this?
No, I'll just be honest that we didn't. But in coming here and hearing a bit of the bit of information on the suffering and actually meeting some of the Tibetans themselves, it's kind of interesting.
Did you get to hook up with some of the monks and meet them?
Yeah, well, not directly, but we did get a chance to hear them in the press conference, and they spoke about a lot of the suffering that they went through, and it's kind of incredible.
It's eye-opening, isn't it? Yeah. Paz, did you a lot of bands shy away from political events. Why did you guys decide it would be an okay thing to be involved?
I mean, I'm very happy that the direction that we as individuals, let alone a group, going within our lives as far as just spiritually and just realizing that we all are human beings beyond just being, whether you're Muslim or you're Baptist or whatever cause you're part of, Buddha. I mean, it's like we respect everyone. And, just the fact when MCA from Beastie Boys came to us about the concert, we put out, we were just basically putting our bodies where our mouth was, as far as all the records we've made in the past and songs about respecting other people and standing behind other people. We had to come here and do this.
It is a lot about respect. Now, I know you guys played out at Tramps recently in New York City, and you're back on the road for a first time for a while. Are we going to hear all new stuff today?
We'll hear a couple of new things. But, we just came here just to do it for the sake of the cause, and we're not really concentrating on what we're going to do. We're just going to try to have a good time, and we're just here for the cause, basically.
Okay, and of course the cause is the freedom of Tibet. Thank you guys for stopping by and chatting with us.
Thank you for having us.
Good to see you. Good luck with your tour.
Thank you.
Okay, we're clear.
Okay.
Just saying that it's like we're in a time where life is kind of, for us in the hip hop world, where things are just a bit out of control. Brothers just don't really respect the listeners' ears. We realize, for us, De La Soul, we realize the majority of our listeners are between the ages of 13 and 19, and it's an age bracket where they like really just learning and wanting to be someone or something, and for them to hear their favorite rappers, we're probably the ones that they're emulating. We're probably the ones that they really look up to. So for us, we feel like, we want to shed the most positive messages possible. And it also seems like we're playing a game with what hip-hop is. Hip-hop is an informative thing for us. It's like, for us, brothers in the neighborhoods, in the ghettos, so on and so forth, it's our news. We don't change the Channel 2 news. We change to CDs to listen to what's going on in the world. So the concept behind Stakes is High is just saying that we're in a day and age where we're playing life as if it's a gamble. But we're just letting everybody know you just got to play your cards right and win, because a lot of us are just trying to play it sloppily and lose. So for us, we're just trying to win in this game called life.
What do you think about the state of hip-hop right now? It seems like you guys and Tribe and Fugees and a few other groups are actually coming out with music that's counter to what's been selling really big, the gangster player thing. Do you think that is there going to be a change now? Is that what we're hoping for? Or?
That's really on the public at hand. We, as far as what's going on in this industry right now, as far as from what we do, there's really, in life in general, there's just no level of self-esteem. And then a lot of the peers that we have around us that rap. So, basically, when you really don't love yourself too tough, you focus on a lot of materialistic things to show that, I am special, because I can afford to have this car or be in this house or have these women parade around me. It's not I think a mission for us to diminish that is just to have a balance, because within life you need a balance. So you got to have disagreeable things and agreeable things. And what might be agreeable or good to me might not be the same for the other man. So I mean, with groups like ourselves and Fugees, Goody Mob, Tribe Called Quest for that matter, we're just trying to create another balance within hip hop. And hopefully people will not just only take on what's out there now, but what we have to say as well.
What happened to the days when, rappers used to battle on mics, Now it seems like battles are going on.
I think those days are still there, just more in a negative aspect, to where it's pretty much becoming a bit more personal. Everybody's trying to really touch each other's feelings and emotions instead of going skill for skill, how it was done back in the days. So, I mean, that's where lies a problem, because you got, like Pops was saying, you have like a lot of material things that's happening. You have one person concerned about another person making more money than them, and they're not really in the game, in the culture for the art form of it. They're in it just to make money. So where it lies, I guess, hopefully with groups like us and Goody Mob and other groups that's trying to shed a positive light and image on the culture and the music, just showing more skills and more talent of it all. And if it can go back to them days, I'll be more than glad that it can happen like that. And I hope no one gets hurt behind the music.
Tell me about the rest of your record, aside from Stakes is High. What can we expect? I know there's Curtis Blow cover on there, right?
Yeah, we did like a Curtis Blow cover called The Breaks. We have a song called For More with John A. That came out kind of cool. We have Common Sense featured on the album, a rapper out of Chicago. It's just, as always, the native tongue vibe. Everybody's hearing now the native tongues reunited and reformed. So that's going to be a lot of what you hear on the album. Hopefully albums to come from Tribe and from the Jungle Brothers. So we're just trying to reunite and more or less, how Paz said, bring back that balance of how it was like back in '89, where rappers just got on stage for the skill and people came to parties not to show off their clothing but to dance and have a good time. So, that's what we're trying to bring back, and that's the vibe of the whole album. Just trying to enjoy it and spread peace in a positive stride.
Cool. Touring? Any tour plans?
Right now, we have some dates coming up with George Clinton, like the Reland the Mothership tour. So we're gonna do a little bit of that, but nothing really locked down as far as us being out on the road too long as of right now. We have some like summer festivals overseas as well, and it seems like we're working out something with the Fugees, along with a couple other records. A couple other rappers to be a part of what they have called Hoodstock. So, I mean, that's what we got going on right now.
Getting more into production and collaborating with other artists, just to bring that balance like we was talking about to the hip-hop music. Instead of us being pro-de la like a lot of people known us to be, we're just going to get around and collaborate with a lot more artists in the field of this music.
All right. Great. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Have you guys ever played in front of a crowd this big?
Oh, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, the world is just...
Thank you very much. Thank you for being patient. Thanks for having us here.
We're on the same stage here.
Can you hear that out there? I didn't think so. You can lose the guitar up here on the stage a little bit and give it to him out there. Can you hear that? I've been waiting for something to happen for a week or a month or a year. With the blood and the ink of the headlines and the sound of the crowd in my ear. You might ask what it takes to remember when you think that you've heard before. How governments lie to their people and how nations are driven to war. There are shadows on the faces of the men who fan the flames. To those wars that are born in places we can't even pronounce their names. On the radio, talk shows, and TV, you hear one thing again and again. How the USA stands for freedom, how we come to the aid of a friend. Well, who are these ones we call our friends? These governments killing their own? Or is it the ones who can't take anymore? So they pick up a brick or a gun or a stone. And there are lives in balance. There are people under fire. There are children at the cannons. There is blood on the wire. There is blood on the wire. There is blood on the wire. There is. Shadows on the faces of the men who send the guns to those wars that are fought in places where their business interests run. I want to know who these men in the shadows are. I want to hear somebody asking them why. They can be counted on to tell us who our enemies are, but they're never around to fight or to die.
I'm Kurt Loder. This is the Weekend Rock Live from San Francisco's Golden Gate Park.
This place has been the site of many a memorable concert, from the Grateful Dead's first show some 30 years ago to a Pearl Jam show last summer, which ended just after 7 songs when Eddie Vedder left the stage stomach flu.
No Pearl Jam today, but lots of acts are here for the Tibetan Freedom Concert, a 2-day all-star show that today alone will feature the Beastie Boys, who organized it with the Miller Epifund, plus Smashing Pumpkins, Foo Fighters, Tribe Called Quest, and right on stage right now, Mr. Richie Havens.
Those wars that are fought in places where their business interests run. I want to know who these men in the shadows are. I want to hear somebody asking them why. They can be counted on.
We'll be here throughout this 2-day shebang with reporters all over the scene, talking with artists and fans about the cause behind the show, China's brutal occupation of Tibet, which has been going on for some 50 years. But since 1994, when President Clinton decided U.S. trade policy with China should not be based on China's human rights abuses, the oppression in Tibet has gotten worse, with which is why organizers feel this concert is especially important now. John Norris is out in the crowd. What's up out there, John?
Well, Tabitha, we are about midway down the polo field here in Golden Gate Park. Kind of a cool and cloudy day in San Francisco, but a great turnout nevertheless. The park looks to be about 2/3 full at this point. Expecting a crowd of upwards of 45,000 people here today. Behind me you can see some of the Tibetan Buddhist prayer flags. The symbol Made in China, a boycott of Chinese goods is being urged by the concert organizers today, one of the main points of today's show. But of course, music is another big point. That's why many of these people are here. Still to come later on in the day, we've got Smashing Pumpkins, Foo Fighters, a great lineup. Also, the Beastie Boys, and of course, Adam Yauch from the Beastie Boys, instrumental in helping put this concert together. I understand Allison Stewart is backstage with him right now. Allison.
You'd understand, correct, John. I'm backstage in our interview tent, which is really kind of beautiful. We're sitting on some original Tibetan prayer rugs that were got from a couple of curators, a couple of museums, and of course I am with Adam Yauch, one of the organizers of today's concert.
Howdy.
It's your big day. It's one thing to play a benefit. It's one thing to be on our benefit records. Another thing to put on an entire concert. Why a concert, Adam? Why did this seem like a good idea, a good way to get the message across?
Well, I think the main thing that everyone has to realize about the situation, about what's happening, is our own involvement in it, and how we fuel the corporations by our spending that are actually helping with the oppression that's going on in China. Mm-hmm. And the main purpose of the concert is just for people to really realize how on a daily basis, every time when we go shopping, when we spend money, that we're actually supporting human rights abuses. And it's just important for everyone to understand that our corporations are making campaign contributions to our elected officials, in exchange for our elected officials making foreign policy that separates human rights issues from trade issues. And it's already been proven with South Africa and several other places that financial sanctions do have an effect on human rights. So basically our corporations, just strictly motivated by greed, are moving ahead and trying to make as much money as they can, and our government is going right along with it. Our elected officials are saying, yeah, we'll take your campaign contributions. And so it's crucial for us as individuals, as human beings, and as Americans to demand that our government and our elected officials, and especially President Clinton, take a stand on this stuff. It's disgusting that President Clinton is allowing this to happen, and I think that Clinton isn't even realizing the power that he has to change this. He's not thinking about it. And I think we as citizens in the United States need to demand this. And
we also need to educate ourselves. If somebody's coming to this concert to see some music, what's a way that they can educate themselves about this issue so that they can write that letter with authority?
Well, for people who are at home watching, I mean, they can look on the website. There's a website to get information, or they can call the phone number. But I think what's really important is just for everyone to start boycotting everything that's made in China. If we all simultaneously focus on this issue and boycott, it's going to send a powerful message to our corporations and our government and the Chinese government that these human rights abuses are not acceptable. And we just have to remember that when we're spending money, if we're buying things that are made in China, we're actually fueling it. We're helping to continue what's going on there.
Well, if you're not familiar of why this concert is going on, about the Chinese occupation of Tibet, we put together this story so you can get a little sense of what's been going on, the he said, she said of it. China says Tibet's part of that country. Tibet, they want their freedom. And how does the United States and how do you partake in all of this? Watch and take notes. Thanks, Adam. This 20th century tale began in 1950 when communist Chinese leaders looking for land to expand marched into Central Asia and seized Tibet.
Mao wanted to incorporate it into a communist Chinese empire. He just kept it suppressed by military occupation. Now what happened in '59 was that the Tibetans began to realize that the Chinese were not a big brother neighbor who was helping them modernize and do this and that and not interfering, but they were definitely trying to destroy their religion and destroy their culture and absorb them into China. They had an uprising to try to throw them out again and were again defeated. But the upshot of that was that the Dalai Lama managed to escape.
The Dalai Lama, Tibetan spiritual and political leader, found safe haven in India, as did many Tibetans. Over the years, some have become refugees and some remain in Tibet suffering silently, while their exiled countrymen try to help.
As a Tibetan living in the United States, you consider yourself in exile? Yeah, I do. I really admire the Tibetans in Tibet. Not only are Tibetans penalized for the fact that they refuse to give up their own culture, but the Chinese really discriminate against Tibetans. Tibetans are almost treated like Native Americans were back in the pioneer days. I mean, they're second-class citizens and the minority in their own country.
Despite the Chinese occupation of Tibet, the two cultures differ greatly. Tibetans have their own language, they have their own form of Buddhism, and they want to self-govern, which is what they've been fighting for about 30 years, often in the face of violent repression, especially if you're a political protester or a monk.
They are arresting them without any sort of search and seizure, without any proper trial. They're executing them for saying, "Long live the Dalai Lama" or something.
Religious leaders are political leaders in Tibet, and monasteries places protecting Tibetan independence. That's why Chinese forces destroyed many monasteries and attacked monks who take a vow of nonviolence to thwart any seed of autonomy.
It's going to be very difficult for this small population, spread out, very poor, to assert its independence, particularly when not a single country in the rest of the world supports that claim. Not a single country in the world recognizes Tibet as a country independent of China.
Including the United States, whose government every year continues to renew trade agreements with China that greatly benefit the U.S.
I have decided to extend unconditional, most favored nation trade status to China.
Amidst protests about human rights.
China to Tibet! Shame on China!
So we're trying here today to send the message to Congress and to anyone else that, we don't approve of what's going on. We don't approve of the delinking of human rights and trade.
The United States has yet to economically isolate China, saying it might not be wise. After all, they do have a freestanding army, nuclear weapons, and many, many U.S. businesses are in China. Protesters like these, however, say Americans should use their economic might to make China do right, and that we should not buy goods that are made in China.
I was in the Woolworths today and I was looking for things to use during the shoot, and everything's made in China. Yeah, I've run through storms so many times because I can't find an umbrella that's not made in China.
China is a communist country, and the workers who do make those umbrellas aren't able to vote lawmakers out of office. Economic actions against the government could have unwanted side effects.
You will unemploy workers in China, and most of the policies of which many Americans, including myself, would disapprove, in fact, are not a function of China's laborers, they're a function of leadership decisions. If we don't favor Chinese goods on equal terms entering our market, you can rest assured that the Chinese will discriminate against ours.
Even though in 1989, the world watched the Dalai Lama win the Nobel Peace Prize for his nonviolent struggle to free Tibet, the struggle continues. Some say it's gotten worse. Today, even publicly displaying a photo of the Dalai Lama is forbidden. However, His Holiness remains hopeful.
With truth, courage, and determinations as our weapons, Tibet will be liberated.
People in Tibet can't vote, and neither can people in China. But here in America, of course, we can. Organizers of this concert believe that information, nonviolence, and voting are the best ways to make a difference. And our Choose or Lose bus is parked behind the stage here to help illustrate that point. But even before the elections in November, you can let your congressman know how you feel about President Clinton's decision to keep normal trade relations with China.
And you can vote with your dollars. Time for us to step aside for our sponsors, but we'll be right back with more live music, live guests, and much more from the Tibetan Freedom Concert in San Francisco. Don't go away.
Not anti-war, just plain world peace. This is human rights. Part of the reason we don't have world peace. We're talking about
So it dawned on me that the human race is only a potential race. And it's not going to be that way unless we all want it to be that way. Is that why we're here? You're here. That's good.
Ooh, that just
Freedom, 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 freedom. Sometimes I feel like I'm motherless child. Sometimes I feel like I'm motherless child. Sometimes I feel just like I'm motherless child. So long away from my home to the Lord, singing freedom, 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 freedom. Sometimes I feel just like I'm almost gone. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes I feel just like I'm almost gone. A long way from my home. Freedom, 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 not treason, freedom, not treason.
Welcome back to the Week in Rock. We are live from San Francisco's Golden Gate Park. Behind me, Richie Havens is burning up the stage. The crowd is starting to fill in here at the Tibetan Freedom Concert, organized in part by the Beastie Boys, who when they first started were the last people anyone expected to be political. But there's lots more live music to come.
Including a set later today by Foo Fighters, who are joining Allison Stewart right now. Allison, what's going on with the lads?
I am back here with the Foo Fighters, and we're discussing we're going to take it quiet because it was a big night last night, apparently.
Yeah, it was okay, but we're feeling a little slow today.
Okay, so first slow question would be benefit concerts. Have you done ones before?
Yeah, we've played Rock for Choice.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Jam Pack, we did it up in Washington State. So we're more than happy to lend ourselves to anyone that needs to raise awareness, whether it's for freedom or censorship or, you know, things that as musicians definitely hit home: freedom, censorship.
Those would be two big ones.
This is true.
Now, did you find yourself wanting to know more about the subjects once you decided to sign on, or you're just going to learn it on the fly today?
Yeah, and actually they gave us
hold up your mic for me?
they gave us this packet that had like all this information, so it was nice to be able to read up like once we got here, even
Wow.
even more. So
We're no Adam Yauch, that's for sure.
I mean, who is though?
Adam Yauch.
Quick question. You know, you guys have been playing all these radio festivals on the weekend, and you're very friendly in concert. Are you going to address the issue at all on stage?
More than likely, yes.
Yeah.
Very quietly, though.
Because it is a quiet day. Well, last time I talked to you, you said that you guys have been out on the road so much and you're afraid people are sick of you. Are you going to do any more concerts this summer? Is this it? You're going home?
We're going to Europe this summer.
Okay.
But I don't think the Europeans are as sick of us as the Americans are.
Well, we're not sick of you. Just want to let you know that. Oh. Thanks for stopping by. You're so silly. Concerts don't just happen. People have to put them together. We're going to check in with Tabitha Soren. She's going to clue us into the folks who helped put this gigantic, enormous concert on today. Tabitha.
That's right, Allison. The Beastie Boys organized the Tibetan Freedom Concert through their own Milarepa Fund. It's named for a Tibetan saint who used music to enlighten himself and others. Today's concert, of course, is also trying to use music to enlighten and inspire Americans to support the people of Tibet. Serena Altschul has more on Milarepa and the fund that bears his name.
When enough young people in the United States and elsewhere start talking about Tibet and demanding that Tibet be freed, that's when it's going to happen.
Meet Aaron Potts, 24-year-old director and co-founder of the Milarepa Fund.
How did the whole Milarepa Fund start?
I had met Adam Yauch from the Beastie Boys when I was living in Nepal in 1992, and we just became friends. He was really, really interested and excited about Tibetan culture. They wanted to have a vehicle from which to do things, to actively support these causes. He asked me if I would do it, and I said, if we're going to do it, let's do it right. Let's start an organization.
And so in May 1994, Adam and Aaron established the Milarepa Fund, a nonprofit organization working to spread the word about China's campaign to wipe Tibetan Buddhist culture off their map.
Does Milarepa have a very specific meaning?
Milarepa was a Tibetan man who lived around 1000 after Christ.
When he was young, he'd been sort of wronged by his aunt and uncle, and he went into black magic.
And tried to kill his uncle and aunt, and instead killed 38 other people.
And he accumulated sort of a lot of bad karma by destroying these villages to kind of, wreak havoc on his aunt and uncle.
Once he realized that he had done all this bad stuff, he went and learned the Tibetan Buddhism and started on that path. He wanted to teach other people, and he did it through music.
He would sing these songs that would instantly enlighten people.
Why Tibet? Why not Somalia?
There are a lot of horrible things going on in the world, and it's hard to pick one and just focus on one.
The human rights violations are all equally important. I think the thing about Tibet is that it really is a case of the culture disappearing, and that it is cultural genocide, and that once it's gone, it's completely lost.
If we're going to affect change, we have to use our cultural tools, and that's music, and that's the internet, and that's TV.
And this weekend, it's a concert.
Just happened to come together now. I think it's just the timing. It's just a good time for it to happen.
We're just like, all right, let's go for it.
The main reason that we're doing the concert is to raise awareness about Tibet, to let people find out about the Chinese occupation, because so few people are aware of it.
All the performers are really excited about it, and they are from sort of different genres of music.
In addition to putting together the entire Tibetan Freedom Concert, the Milarepa Fund is also working on a couple of public service announcements and an educational documentary, all here in this teeny office run by a bunch of 20-somethings.
It's a neat office because it's young, so there's a lot of energy consistently.
I think that our total and complete focus on young people and people our age is so unlike a lot of other organizations.
It's a lot more of having to interact with everyone and work as a team effort.
I think that a lot of people feel really frustrated and don't have the confidence that we can succeed in what we're doing, that we are idealists. That's the only thing that has ever changed the world, idealism. And so we have to keep pushing for it, even if we get called, fruits and all the rest, and idealists.
In addition to raising U.S. awareness of the Tibetan situation, the Milarepa Fund will distribute proceeds of this concert to Tibetan refugee camps and sponsor Tibetan sacred music and dance groups, and they'll use the money to support Tibetan monks' monasteries.
Right now, but we'll be right back with more live music. Use the inner room to check the labels on your sneakers, and we'll be back with more from San Francisco's Golden Gate Park.
Thank everybody coming down. And I'm going to introduce Bob Thurman, who's going to speak about Tibet. And he's one of the foremost authorities on Tibet. And just listen real closely to what he has to say, because he's an incredible man. Hold on.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Richie. No more turning away and hit. No more turning away from Tibet. I'm sorry, I'm not singing.
quietly for a couple of minutes. If you look at any map of Asia that shows the altitude, you can clearly see it. It looks like a great dragon coiled up on top of China and
Turn your
India.
IFB down a little bit.
Ron?
You don't have to turn it down. It's all right. You don't have to turn it down.
It's over 8,000, 10,000 feet everywhere, and it is as big as the United States west of the Mississippi. It will bend. I only found this out.
Okay.
For 2,000 or 3,000 years, it's had its independent government. 700 of the Common Era, it was a very fierce country like Genghis Khan. They were like the U.S. They had a big army and they fought everybody and they beat everyone around them. At one time they conquered China. Yeah, they conquered Nepal. They were fierce horsemen, fierce warriors. Then about 1,300 years ago, came to Tibet. So much a religious teaching as a teaching about human freedom, about what the human being can become. Human being can awaken all their overcome violence, learn to overcome greed. Really the highest evolution that human being is possible. This is what the Buddha originally. And this teaching came to Tibet. And the Tibetans at first, because they were used to ways of war and violence, but slowly they put their hearts into it. Slowly they learned that it is more satisfying to love than to kill. They learned it was more satisfying to be patient than to be angry. And after 1,000 years, they even made a monk the head of their country, the Dalai Lama, in the 17th century. The fifth Dalai Lama. They created a unique form of society which was based on nonviolence, which was based on every individual's right to freedom. Richie sings about freedom. We all love freedom. But are we really capable of freedom ourselves? Do we really know what to do with our freedom? We go to we use our freedom to fool around sometimes. Sometimes we use our freedom just to get away from something. But the positive use of freedom to develop yourself to be all that you can be. How do we really do this? It's a matter of developing ourselves. Tibet became a country where the entire country spent its energy in developing their inner freedom. As much energy as we in the West put into industry, they put into the development of the human mind. And therefore they remained quiet. They didn't conquer the world. They stayed home.
Welcome back to the Week in Rock, live from the Tibetan Freedom Concert in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park. The audience right now is listening to Robert Thurman, who's a Columbia University professor. He sort of invented the field of Buddhology. He also happens to be Uma Thurman's dad. People here are still arriving, but while some of them may not know much about China's oppression of Tibet now, they will by the time they leave here.
Crowd's already seen Richie Havens. It's still to come are Foo Fighters, Smashing Pumpkins, Beastie Boys, Biz Markie, Pavement, and lots more. Let's see how things are going out in the crowd right now. John Nars is there. John, what's taking place?
Well, thanks a lot, guys. As Tabitha mentioned, the hopes of the concert organizers is to educate the people who've, many cases, turned up for the music here today. Here were the couple of the 50,000 on hand today. Tom, why did you decide to come here? Was it for the music or the cause?
I think it was a little bit of both, actually, because I came here mainly for Rage Against the Machine, Beastie Boys, and I think it's totally wrong in Tibet. They cannot dance to any music, and personally, I feel that's the way I get released from all my tension, going to school, everything, and I think it's very wrong.
Paul, what do you know about the Tibetan situation?
Well, I know that their hand-picked successor that was hand-picked by the Dalai Lama, a 4-year-old boy and his whole family that was hand-picked by the Tibetan religion, has disappeared in China, and the Chinese government has now tried to plant their own 4-year-old child, which is complete it's complete violation of every single human right that we understand.
Thanks a lot, guys. Paul's referring to the Panchen Lama, who is the second holiest figure in Tibetan Buddhism. The Dalai Lama is, of course, their spiritual leader. We are here in a monk's tent. It's a bizarre scene, a rowdy crowd in a tent full of Tibetan monks. But there are Tibetan monks in exile, many of them living in exile in India and Nepal, some even living in the U.S. We spent a day with one not long ago, right across the bay in Oakland, California, and here is a little taste in the life of a Tibetan monk.
In the morning, I have to do my own practice from 5:30 to 7:30. My parents said to me, monk. And then since, when I think it's after a couple of months after I'm born, and then they pronounce I'm a monk. But at the time, the Chinese government not allowed to monk. But in the secretly, I'm a monk.
Ever since the Chinese Cultural Revolution swept through Tibet 20 years ago, Buddhism in that country is practiced easily only behind closed doors. In order to escape the religious and cultural genocide, Tashi Tenpa evaded the Chinese border patrol and crossed the Himalayas into neighboring Nepal 4 years ago. Not everybody who makes the journey is as fortunate.
Some of them catch it, by Chinese guard, and then they put it in the person like that. But I got lucky.
Yeah, I guess so. In Tibet, it is considered a privilege for Buddhist practitioners to provide financial support for monks. But now that he's living in the U.S., Tashi has to hold a job.
I'm very happy to with.
Would you say you've adjusted to life here?
Oh yeah, very comfortable with it.
Most Americans would probably find Tashi's comfortable existence to be a daily challenge.
Monks have a lot of rules.
Well over 200 rules, actually. The main rules prevent monks from cheating, stealing, lying, gossiping, drinking alcohol, and having sex. Have you known monks who have had problems with?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. The most part is they have problem with it sexual, of course. And the ones, that's the difficult part.
Especially when you're young, I would think, right?
But not for me. Yeah. Maybe later around. I hope not.
Buddhists are not supposed to eat meat, but since there isn't much vegetation in mountainous Tibet, meat is a staple of the Tibetan Buddhist diet. Do Tibetan transplants take advantage of America's green bounty? Apparently not.
But we get used to over there. That's why I get hamburger every day.
Tashi appreciates many things his adopted country offers, but he is worried that some Americans may take one of their most important privileges for granted.
A lot of countries not going to get a chance to vote, for register for vote. You get the chance, you have to vote. And whoever you like, think you're going to make a difference for your country, you have to vote. If you don't vote, who knows? Yeah. Who knows it's going to be?
There you have it, the life of a Tibetan monk in America.
And there you have the first of today's 2 live editions of the Week in Rock. But we aren't going anywhere, so neither should you.
We've got live reports from right here in Golden Gate Park twice an hour.
And another live Week in Rock show at 7:30 p.m.
We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Blessings, blessings. Make a wish. Please come on. Smart enough to know that
special guest, Russell Simon and Sean Lennon. Cibo family.
Cibo family is here.
Ooh.
Let's thank him again from New York City, all that energy, Cibo Matto. And now you'll direct your focus to the red stage, all the way from Stockton, California, Pavement.
Hey, excuse me. My friend, could you turn down this guitar and this monitor? Turn down his guitar and the stage right monitor. Thank you. This song's called Kennel District.
Pleasure to be here.
Thanks. This tune is called No More Kings, and it's very appropriate for today.
Do it to me one time. The pilgrims, they sailed the sea, try to find a place of their own, so free in their little ship. The Mayflower, they hope for FFG, so home. They finally knocked on Plymouth Rock, and someone said, "Hey, we're there, motherfucker." It may not look like much, but at this point I don't care. Oh, they were missing Mother England. They swore their loyalty until the very end. Anything's okay, King, it's okay, King. You know it's kinda scary on your own. Oh, we just all got to get together, try to talk to each other on a telephone. Well, I want no more kings. Double it! No more kings! No more money. They didn't give us any voice. And meanwhile, back over there in England, they didn't give us any choice. That's called taxation without representation. And that's fucking fascism, man! That's not fair! Fucking dirt wrong. This part's for you too. Need a helping hand. We're gonna knock
Welcome back to San Francisco's Golden Gate Park, where we're live at the Tibetan Freedom Concert. Cibo Matto just played.
That's right, Sean Lennon joined them. That was really
pretty
interesting. We're on stage right now playing in front of the Tibetan flag, which is illegal to display in Tibet, but not here in San Francisco, is the Consciously Loose live performers, Pavement.
Let's check in and see what they're doing.
All the yokels marked attention. The cotton, he was just so oblivious to all their contemplate. Soon the townsfolk took to it. In every bar they looked to him for guidance, just like guileless lambs. His ways in that old kebab stand. Skeptics sworn the nation's born. Want to have it caught as tree, but increase had allowed to.
Former museum security guards on stage in San Francisco. We'll be back in 20 minutes or so with another live report from the Tibetan Freedom Concert. So do stay tuned.
See that.
Give it a day, 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 give it a day. Hey, hey, hey. Well, years and years have passed since the Puritans invaded our souls, just like those Arab terrorists. We'll never know, but in fact today the gods can't make us quake. We see our lives as situations, eyes are eyes and teeth are teeth. Well, mine are rotten underneath. Got two ways we can separate from the clan. If I could fly, I would fly. I hope you profited from this little here bulletin, and you stabilize your land, you gentrified your all-time clan. Well, your pappy, he was another one of them. I don't want to mention him again, 'cause I talked to him last night. He hates my guts. We had a fight and he called you a slut. Girl, why's that? What did you do to him to make him think that you were an immoral man? Chief undertaker of the rest balls, arrested development and blind sages, blue in the head and blue in the face, blue and gray, my rebel yell is a thing I talk, a rebel yell is a thing I need, blind, 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 motherfucking pig, so blind, so blind, so blind, I never felt better in my life, I never felt better in my life, well I never felt better in my life, well I never felt better in my life. Chief investigator, this is the home of the brave, home of the brave. Low Compton, white birds, songs of black, 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 black cigarette hearts with a bleeding hand in the eye. Well, I never felt better in my life. No, I never felt better in my life. No, I never felt better in my life. No, I never felt better in my life. Better. $40 for 40 square feet of roach-infested loam. I never felt better in my life. Well, I never felt better in my life. No, I never felt better in my life. Never felt better. I never felt.
Thank you. Turn it on.
You know they wiggle when they walk. So why you gotta steal those bases like Lou Brock? 40,000 games and 30 million names won't make up for the pain that I felt when I wasted my poor lifetime earning jack shit. Get into it, everybody. Oh, I know why that's right. I know you're now around. Take money out to see your heart. Listen to me, I'm on radio. My baby, malaria, hysteria. Hope is just such a long way away. And Michael Stipe said it better back in '83. He was talking the truth, drinking vodka and vermouth, getting drunk like a punk, rocker, circa '81. When drugs were cool, give me a beer, somebody said. And Darby's dead. But I know why you're around. I know why you're around. Take a ride to make you hit the home. Listen to a rock assault. They're on the radio. Well, my baby, give me malaria, hysteria.
Who coffee?
Hey, thanks.
Broke a string, so shit went out too.
Shut down.
I'm not in tune for MT, so it's got to be something else. How about Leaders Are Dead? No? No.
Tough
Huh?
decision.
Werewolf song. I'm sorry, I'm in tune for that. I was dressed for success, but success, it never comes. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Where was the fuzz? Ba, ba, ba. You're bleeding me dry, 'cause heroes and villains. It's the season of the witch trials. Well, I walked 40,000 miles for a camel. Sent it right back to me. acting in Sitka, Alaska. If you wanna know about it, well, I'll ask you why there's a shrink in my bathroom. He's charging me double rates. Okay, we're gonna do one more song. I'd like to dedicate it to all of Southeast Asia, beyond Tibet. You know, in Myanmar, we got some fucked up shit going on there too, man. We got a terrible Olympic team also. What goes on in your mind? I gotta lie my time. I don't need work, I don't need to play. Just gotta waste my life away. Let it be good, do what you should, and it'll work out right. Bright sunny day over the bay, my mind, I don't know which way to go. Should I be straight? Should I be gay? Should I be a bi-curious oil of Olay? Let it be true, do what you should, and it'll work out right. Take it, Steven. Inspiration for the moment. Let it be good, do what you should, and it'll work out right.
you later.
Thanks very much. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Yeah, let's hear it for Pavement. Okay, now if you will just focus your attention on the blue stage and please welcome Yoko Ono.
Next speaker, Tibetan. She's a Tibetan American human rights activist, and she was a participant in the Tibet delegation at the United Nations World Women's Conference in Beijing last fall. Peace, brothers and sisters. I love you. Tibetan.
It's so great to see so many of you in one place for one cause, Tibetan freedom. I know a lot of you came to see the bands, and you may not know that much about Tibet, but I hope that by the end of the day, you might have a better understanding of what's going on in Tibet and what you can do to help. When I was growing up in America, there was very little awareness about Tibet. What people did know mainly was the myth of Shangri-La. Well, this myth has really hurt Tibet because people don't realize that behind Shangri-La is a country that has suffered brutal occupation by Chinese forces for 46 years. TV cameras showed the world what happened at Tiananmen 6 years ago. Tibet is Tiananmen with no cameras. But why should you care about Tibet? Tibet has no oil, no economic benefit for America. Tibet boils down to a very simple moral issue, the question of right and wrong. The power of truth in the face of brute force, wisdom and compassion over hatred. Tibetans have carried on this struggle for independence, always through nonviolent means. And in this modern world of increasing violence, everybody can learn a lot from Tibet and the example that Tibetans have set through pursuing nonviolence. Tibet should be a cause of the world. When an ancient culture is about to be wiped off the face of the planet, everybody should care. We all lose if we lose Tibet, and what happens in Tibet affects all of us, environmentally, economically, and spiritually. The great thing is that Tibet is a cause that can be won if more people get involved, especially Americans and American youth. Throughout modern history, it's been the involvement of the youth that have given new energy to a movement. Youth have the courage to take risks and challenge an existing system. It worked in the case of fighting apartheid in South Africa, and it can work in the case of Tibet if you choose to act. And how can you act for Tibet? Well, there's lots of information in the tents, the 2 action tents located on both sides and behind the temple. I encourage you to educate yourself while you're here and inform others when you leave this place. Remember, this is an election year, and Bill Clinton needs the youth vote, your vote. You can tell Bill and Congress that you don't want human rights matters to be decided by big business. China currently enjoys a special trade status called MFN. It stands for Most Favored Nation Trade Status. This basically means that they pay very low tariffs on all of their exports to the United States. So as a result, the U.S. now has a $33 billion trade deficit with China. So why should China get this privilege when it has ignored all rights, be it human rights or copyrights? People must prevail over profit. China should not get special treatment. China is not a most favored nation. There is a rapidly growing student movement across the country right now, and it's called Students for a Free Tibet. They're in 80 college campuses across the country, and if you're affiliated with a university, you can start your own chapter. Their booth is behind the temple. I encourage you to check it out. Or you can join a Tibetan support group. Boycotting Chinese goods is a very effective way of showing your support for Tibet and the democracy movement in China. Everything that you buy in China goes to support the Chinese military government and its continued suppression of Tibetan and Chinese people. There is a large chance that any item that you buy that is made in China was made through forced prison labor. Do you feel right wearing a shirt that was made by a political prisoner whose only crime was to speak out for freedom and democracy? There are definite links between our actions here in the U.S. and the effects that they have in countries elsewhere. We as Americans must begin to realize this. If we cherish our freedom here today, let's use it to act on those who don't have it. So let's have a great time here today. And let's also remember why we're here. In Tibet, there are two words that will get you arrested. Free Tibet. In honor of those Tibetans who are sitting in prison right now, let's say those words. Let's use our freedom to act on their behalf. Let's repeat, free Tibet! Free Tibet! China out of Tibet! Human rights in Tibet! Boycott goods made in China! Free Tibet! Thank you, you're on your way to action.
Chimi Thondon, let's hear it for her.
Okay, real quick. You folks weren't here this morning when we made the opening announcements. You don't know. We actually cleaned that whole thing. Main facility on the north end of the field, which is your right. You have a problem. You have a lost and found problem. That's where you go.
Can we put somebody else there?
Man, he was the king of the funk. He was gonna get down funk, he gonna move in next door to him, and Lord is gonna die. You dig? Yeah, got Bo Weevil strong all over him. He is the man winning his out. Happy, black, ain't too proud of bitch. Only my mama looked at her, she could be diving too. Would you please welcome the most out-of-fame man in show business, Biz Markie!
of this place into a party.
Hi, I'm Allison Stewart of MTV News, coming to you live from San Francisco's Golden Gate Park. This is the place, day one of the big two-day Tibetan Freedom Concert, with Smashing Pumpkins still on the way. We got Foo Fighters coming up, and the Beastie Boys, many more due to perform. Pavement just wrapped their set, and now on stage is an idol of the Beastie Boys. He's ready to turn this place into a big party. This is the Clown Prince of Rap, who's on stage right now, Biz Markie. Ha!
Go Bismarck, 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 go Bismarck.
Oh, there are very many cool things happening here today. One of the cool things about today's show is there's a really nice, healthy mix of rock and rap acts on the bill for this show. One of the other rap acts playing today is a Tribe Called Quest, who are with our own John Norris in our interview tent. John?
Right you are, Allison, and not only is hip-hop well represented, but especially East Coast hip-hop. Guys, how you doing?
Good to see you. What's up? What's the deal? What's the deal? Universal hip-hop. Universal.
There you go. There you go. You guys flew in from New York last night, right?
Yep.
What made you decide to come here, fly all across the country with this? Was it the lineup, the musical lineup, or is it the cause today?
It's definitely the cause, you know, just because we're aware of the oppressive situation going on between the Chinese and the Tibetan people, and you know, as far as we're concerned, we're all human beings, you know, and another human doesn't want to see another human being put down or tortured or anything like that. So we're just here to bring about an awareness, you know, help draw a crowd and help our fans understand the realism that's going on over there.
Talking about awareness, how many of these young people here today do you think can be made aware of the situation there? Is it? I mean, it seems like something really distant that it's hard to motivate them for?
No, I think that you can relate it to what's going on in our everyday lives. This is something that's practical. I think music is a tool of practicality, and if anything's been used to make a change for positivity, it's been music. And I think that the people are intelligent enough to understand that, you know, any tyrant having any sort of oppressive situation on other people is just totally wrong and ludicrous, you understand, especially in these days and times.
Guys, thanks so much for being here today. We're going to be checking in with them a little bit later on, a Tribe Called Quest. Right now we're going to check in with Tabitha, who is out in the crowd where I think the sun has miraculously broken out.
That's right. It's actually gotten pretty warm out here. I'm at the outskirts of Polo Fields at one of the gates where many young people are coming in, many people of all ages actually. And Karen Spalding, a ticket taker, is with me right now. The last time I was at a show like this, Woodstock, a lot of the people crashed the gates and they thought the concert was free. Now, the performers are performing free here today, but the tickets aren't. Are you experiencing any problems like that?
No, we're not having any problems at all. We have good line control going on.
One of the other concerts that you worked here was the Pearl Jam show where there were about 75,000 people. Did you have any particularly interesting experiences at that show? That's the last show Pearl Jam ever played.
Yeah, they crashed down the barriers then.
And what kind of security measures do you take in that circumstance? Did you expect anything like that today?
All you can really do is get out of the way when they do something like that.
So we're that safe, huh? Well, one person who's very safe and who has the best vantage point at the concert is Miss Allison Stewart. How you doing, Allison?
I'm doing okay. I'm safe. I'm not so sure about how my hearing's going to be after this event. We're only 100 feet away from the stage, but it is a good seat. We have that good seat in the house for the whole weekend, so you should definitely stick around around because we're going to be back with another live report in about a half an hour, plus twice hourly reports up until 9 p.m., not to mention a live Weekend Rock show happening at 7:30 p.m. So that's the news for now, and you keep it where it is.
Records are all disco, like Peter, Billie Jean, but Michael Jackson or the Church of Street record. They call action when you hear me do it. You will be shocked and amazed. It's the brand new thing they call a human bebop kid.
Make the music with your mouth big.
1, 2. What you gonna do? We they bugging out. How many people out there want to hear me sing? Let me hear you sing. If you really want to hear me sing, let me see one arm in the air. Out of everybody, if you want to hear me sing. Say, sing that funky song, Biz Markie. Let me see how can I do it. Oh, baby, you got what I need. But you say he's just a friend, and you say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you sing along. Say what? Say what? Say what? Oh, baby, you sing along. I can't hear you, can't hear you. Oh, bring it down. Hey, could I sing to one of the girls out there? You got a disease, but you said it's just a rash. You said it's just a rash. Oh, baby, you sing along. Say what? Say what? Say what? Oh, baby, you sing along. Say what? Say what? Say what?
Yo, Biz, do that other one. Do that other one.
What you mean? What you mean?
Do the other one about that girl we seen in New York.
Oh, that girl right there? You got a hair weave, but you said it's your real hair. But you said it's your real hair. Oh, baby, you got a hair weave. Sing along, everybody. Say what? Oh, baby, you sing along. Say what? Say what? Say what? Oh, baby, you. I see the fellas doing that joint, that dance, am I right? Now I want to ask a couple of questions out there. How many people in this whole place on the strength of the do-rag use protection? Throw your hands up in the air. Hey, I see a couple of people. Huh? Hey, everybody ever heard that record? No. What record y'all want to hear? I can't hear you. Huh? First of all, I want to know where everybody's from in here. Yo. We got West Coast in here, right? We got some East Coast, right? Now listen to this. Now we all here, right? We all here in unity, am I right? Whether you black, white, green, Chinese. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse, but I don't give a. Check it out. Nobody here fighting, am I right? Now, Death Row and that bad boy need to squash that, right? Because we all one people, am I right? Whether it's R&B, whether it's rock, wherever it is, we all one people, am I right? Huh? So I don't got no beef with nobody because I got my own funk, am I right? Can I do a couple of records with my mouth? I want to see if anybody know any of these. Anybody ever heard this record? Hey, caught you then. Huh? What record? I can't hear you. You don't want to hear the Vapors, do you? I can't hear you. Do you want to hear the Ravens? I can't hear you. Do you want to hear the Vapors? Anybody ever heard of Nobody Beats the Biz? Nobody. Do that one too. But everybody out there, I got a brand new album getting ready to come out. I ain't been out in 5 years. But I guarantee you, when you hear this album, it got the funk with it. It's called Remember Me. I'm bringing out my first single first, you know. The one you heard, but you couldn't really hear it. It go, it's funky though, check it out. But I'm not gonna do it right now. But check it out. But 1 for the money, 2 for the place. Come on, cool V and hold everybody, hold. I want everybody out there to say hi, Cool V. Say hi, Cool V. He want me to start off. He don't want me to do the Vapors. He want me to do something else. He want me to do something funkier than the Vapors. Check it out. Give it can. Can you feel it? Nothing can save you, but this is the season for catching the Vapors. And since I got time, what I'm going to do, and tell you how they spread it throughout my crew. Well, you all know TJ Swan, who sang on my records. Make the music, nobody beats the Biz, well, check it. Back in the days before this began, he used to try to talk to this girl named Fran. The type of female with fly Gucci wear, with big truck jewelry and extensions in her hair. When Swan tried to kick it, she always fessed, talking about, nigga, please, you work for UPS. Since he wasn't no type of big drug dealer, my man TJ Swan did appeal to her. But now he trucks gold and wear fly belly boots, rough leather fashion and tough silk suits. Now she stopped fronting and wants to speak and be coming to all the shows every single weekend. He gave his people numbers, she be begging please. Dying for the day. Yo. What she catch? Everybody in the middle. What she catch? She caught the Vapors. Everybody over here, yo. What she catch? She caught the Vapors. I can't hear you. A little louder. What she catch? She caught the Vapors. I gotta talk about my man. I got another brother that's calm and plain. He goes by the name of the Big Daddy Kane. A mellow type of fellow that's laid back. Back in the days, he was nothing like that. I remember when he used to fight every day. What grown-ups would tell him, he would never obey. He wore his pants hanging down and his sneakers untied, and a rasta-tight Kango tilted to the side. Around his neighborhood, people treated him bad. Said he was the worst thing his mom's ever had. They said he would grow up to be nothing but a hoodlum, or either in jail or someone would shoot him. But now he's grown up to their surprise. Big Daddy got a hit record rolling worldwide. Now the same people that didn't Michael on the top saying, can I borrow $1? Ooh, you're a star. Now they caught the Vapors. My people over here, yo. What they catch? They caught the Vapors. I can't hear you. A little loud. I thought you just wanted to hear. Yo. They caught the Vapors. Everybody over here, yo. What she catch? They caught the Vapors. I gotta talk about my cousin. Check it out. Now I got a cousin by the name of Vaughn Lee. They're the only your ex-Master Cool V. He cuts, scratch, transforms with finesse. and all that mess. But I remember when he first started to rock and trying to get this job and a record shop. He was in it to win it, but the boss fronted said, sorry, Mr. Lee, but there's no help on it. Now my cousin Vaughn still try on and on and on till the light break of dawn to put this J.O.P. in effect, but they look right past him and be like, next! Now for the year of 8 to 8, Cool V is making dollars, so my cousin's like straight. He walks into the same record shop before, and the boss be like, Vaughn, welcome to my store. Offering him a job, but now he don't want it. Damn, it feels good to see people up on it. Cause I remember when, at first they wasn't. Now guess what they caught from my cousin?
They caught the vapors.
What they catch?
They caught the vapors.
I can't hear you.
They caught the vapors.
All my real people right here. What they catch?
They caught the vapors.
I gotta talk about me. Check it out.
Tell them, Biz.
Last subject of the story is about Biz Markie. I had to work for mine to put your body apart. When I was a teenager, I wanted to be down with a lot of MCTJ and crews in town. So I was crewing over streets. I said, can I be down, champ? They said no, and to go like a red food stamp. After getting rejected, I was very depressed. Sat and wrote some death through the rhymes at my rest. When I used to come to parties, they make me pay. I'll have to beg to get on the mic and rap that thing. I was never into girls, I was just into my music. It acted like I wanted to keep instead of trying to use it. But now they switch without belief.
Yo, Biz, do you remember me from Noble Street, Chief?
We used to be down back in the days. It happens all the time and never cease to amaze. They call it the vapors.
Come on, baby, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get one last one. Do that dance for them. You gonna do the dance for everybody?
They don't want me to do the dance.
Y'all want Biz to do the dance? Y'all want to see Biz do his dance?
I can't hear you. Do you want me to do the dance? Hold on. Well. Cool V, go ahead.
Biz Markie.
Everybody out there, what's my name?
Biz Markie.
Mr. Dynamite. What's my name?
Biz Markie.
Mr. Dynamite. Yes, y'all in Twitter like beating. You can even dance or just have a seat. Listen to the way it, what I am displaying. A different kind of rapper language that I am saying. The only party people that enjoy the info. When it comes to rockin' parties, I am a info maniac, brainiac for doing my dance. And my record make the music will put you in a trance. Hypnotize your body and like you get Bacardi and you won't be fighting the ill like you just party it down. When the sun is down, George truly, I'm the original beat. I think of it, I think I will be it. I hit the have fun and not to be number one and just here to let you know. We like running the play and everywhere that I perform and do a show. As long as you know, everybody sing along.
Nobody beats the Biz.
Nobody beats the Biz.
Nobody beats the
Say
Biz.
what?
Nobody beats the Biz.
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 Now, I'd like to thank everybody for having me out here. I love all of y'all, you know what I'm saying? And I'm doing this for the people in Tibet, alright? Yo. Let the music cease. When I count to 3, everybody say peace. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I love all y'all. Peace.
Biz Markie. Let's hear it. And now back to the red stage.
Today we've changed our name. We are no longer the Foo Fighters. Today we are the Freedom Fighters. And we're gonna play for half an hour, and you guys don't get sunburned. Visiting is printed, visiting is good. Seems that all they ever wanted was a market. This could be a secret, we can keep it good. Even all he ever wanted had the problem. This is a call to all my past resignation.